There could be as many as 1.2 million Kentuckians eligible for the medical marijuana program the state is launching next year. Legally, every step from seed to storefront has to happen within state borders. This week, the window opened for businesses in every step of that process to apply for the limited number of business licenses that are being made available. It was moved up this year thanks to House Bill 829. Now, after that window closes on August the 31st, Kentucky will hold a license lottery in October to decide which businesses get the first set of cultivator, processor, and dispensary licenses. Kentucky NORML, that's the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, their executive director, Matthew Bratcher, has concerns that the state could have a tough time growing enough to meet initial demand early on.
It's probably too early to tell, but I think I'm going to err on the side of we won't be necessarily ready come January 1. Dispensary build-outs can take up to 4 months.
Now, Kentuckians won't truly know for sure how this will go until January 1st when the program launches in full, and that's when patients can also begin applying for medical marijuana cards. I want to talk to you about this, Senator Webb. Was this creeping deadline part of the conversation whenever House Bill 829 was in discussion during session?
Well, there was many things. We just didn't want to end up like some of our counterparts in Oklahoma and other states that were very ill prepared for the thing to hit and set up a regulatory scheme that allowed some control with legitimate access. The legitimacy of our program was, I think, paramount. But administratively, licensing issues, all that takes time, and we might be a little behind the 8 ball on the time frame.
Senator Thayer, what do you expect it to look like?
Well, you can see why when we passed the original medical marijuana bill, why we gave basically a 2-year lead time in doing it. And that was a tough vote for me. I voted yes. I still don't know if it was the right vote. I usually feel pretty confident in the way I vote that I did the right thing, and I very rarely look back. But I hope I don't look back and regret that vote, because I was a longtime opponent of medical marijuana. It was kind of a heart-wrenching vote for me. And at the end of the day, the advocates who talked about people needing relief from the maladies that they have that regular prescription drugs are not helping them with. That's what changed my mind. And for them, I hope we can get this program launched by January 1. But if you look at the Beshear administration and its administration of the unemployment insurance program or the Department of Juvenile Justice, which is still a complete train wreck, I don't have a lot of confidence that it's going to be done and done right. But I am hoping that it is. I want Kentucky to look good in the way we do this, and the main thing is I want it to be available for those who really need it.
The rollout that we're seeing right now, is it going at about the right pace? Should it go a little bit slower, or should it be faster so that we are, fully ready to go by January 1?
Well, January 1 is when it becomes legal, according to the law passed by the General Assembly. It didn't say that we had to have it up and running by January 1. I would rather, if we have to take a little more time to be a little more contemplative, to make sure that every I is dotted and T is crossed, I would rather that it be launched properly instead of quickly.
Senator Webb, what do you think?
And as soon as practicable. I have constituents that are having to drive to Illinois to get their legitimate prescription filled, and that can create a hardship. So yeah, we've got to do it right, but it needs to be timely and not slow-walked in any part of the process. And I'm going to have to defend the unemployment insurance just a little bit, because we were trying to upgrade their computers and interfacing hardware with the federal government for several years, and we just couldn't find the money or the political will to do that. So,
well, to bring it back to the marijuana discussion, we got 1 more minute left here. We're not an outlier in terms of our state, everything having to be grown within our own state borders. Is there an opportunity here for Kentucky to set some sort of a precedent or standard for other states to follow, even though we're not the first of the game here?
I hope so, and I hope we've learned some lessons from hemp and our great experiment with that kind of production as far as growers and but it will allow a diversification process. And again, I want to be a national model. I think those of us who supported the measure, and Senator West and others, that's what we've strived for since the first bill was filed.
Senator Thayer, we got about 20 more seconds left here.
Yeah, even though we're going to be one of the latter third of states to implement it, we learned with sports betting that we can do some things better because we're learning from other states, and I would hope that some of the lessons learned from implementation in other states can be applied to what we're doing here, and that we can do it better than anyone else. I still have legislators in Colorado, and of course they have full-on recreational, which I would never be for, but they say it's just a cluster, a mess of an implementation there, and they've had full-on recreational now for years. So I don't want us to be like one of those states.
All right. Thank you, Senator Thayer.